beautiful people, welcome back to my channel once again. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Janet, as you all know, but if you have seen my face for the first time, welcome. Here on this channel I share different relocation opportunities with you, be it study or work. So I shared scholarships to different countries. I also shared with you how you can get visa sponsored jobs. So if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, or you've not been watching those videos and you want to relocate, you are not doing yourself justice. Please go ahead, subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notification, that's the bell icon that will notify you whenever I drop a new video. So today I want to just take you through everything you need to know about the listening IELTS. I'm talking about the general exam now, not academic, the general IELTS. And listening, we have four parts. We have the listening, we have the reading, we have writing, and we have speaking. So if you want to know more about the rest, I also have videos on my channel right now. I've giving you tips and strategies that you can use to make you have that score. I'm talking about band 7, 8, or 9, in one sitting, and I'm serious. It worked for me, and that is why I'm also sharing it with you. Okay, so not to waste time, let's go ahead. I'll share my screen with you so that you can also read yourself. I've jot down in bullet points some points you need to know about the listening IELTS exam. All right, so let me share my screen so we can go through it together. All right, just a moment. Yes, now we are up. I hope my screen is very clear and visible. Yes, so the IELTS listening test assesses your ability to understand spoken English in various contexts. So it is designed to evaluate how well you can follow and comprehend different types of spoken communication. Here's everything you need to know about the IELTS listening exam. All right, so like we read, it's just to test your ability to understand different English, different accents. We have different accents of English, so they just want to test your ability to understand when those people are speaking, because if you are moving abroad, you won't be speaking with people from your country alone. There will be varieties from all over the world where you are going, so they want to be sure that you can communicate with them, understand what they are saying, and be able to respond appropriately, which means you understand them. So that's basically what it means. Not a time for you to now prove that you can speak or be all right, big grammars down. No. All right, so moving on. IELTS listening test overview. So the test is for 30 minutes. The listening test is for 30 minutes, and then you will have, if it's a computer based, you will have they will give you headphones to put in your hair. Then when you want to start, you will indicate on the laptop or on the desktop, whichever you are using, and then it will start. I think for paper based, I don't know, I think they used to have a speaker or something like that in the hall where they will play at the same time. Everybody will have to attempt the question. All right, so there are two sections. Sorry, forgive me. So we have different test sections. Okay, so it's divided into 4. There are different test questions, but there are 4 specific sections. I don't know if I'm putting this correctly. I don't want to confuse you. So we have different types. Okay, so we have different types of questions, okay, that can come out in your IELTS listening exam. But in the question, in that exam, there are 4 sections. So there are 4 sections. We have part 1, we have part 2, part 3, and part 4. I hope that is clear. So part 1 is a very simple, I'm telling you, very simple question. You just listen to it like an everyday conversation where somebody will be making a booking or calling to make an inquiry. It might be a telephone conversation, or it might be a face-to-face, everyday conversation. Very simple and straightforward. All you need to do is, there will be spaces in your questions. You just have to like filling in the gaps. You hear what they are saying, and then you read. As you are listening, you are also reading, so that you can know when the answer has been mentioned. All right. So like I said, section 1 is very simple. It's everyday conversation. Then for example, a conversation between 2 people in a travel agency that is discussing a booking. That's number 1. It could be 2 friends discussing a get together, a planned trip, and all those kind of things. Just like an everyday in a social context. All right. So section 2, it's like a monologue. All right. It's transactional. In transactional context, where there will be somebody speaking, and then there might be there are 2 people. So there are 2 people that will be speaking. All right, they will be speaking, and then you have to get the main point of their discussion. They will be giving different ideas. They might give 1 idea, 2 idea. All right, you have to note the point, and that's why I said, as you are listening, you are reading. But before you start each section, you will have time, at least 2 minutes, to read through the questions. So it's very important. Please don't waste that time. Read through the question. If you have read through the question, you will know when you find the answer from what you are listening to. I hope that's very clear. All right. So a monologue about the facilities and services in a public building or event. All right. So for example, also, it might not be 2 people talking, it might be just 1 person talking. Like you see here, for example, might be somebody describing, a particular facility, or giving you a talk about particular services they render. For example, now maybe there's an event in a particular hall, but in maybe the name of the office you'll be going to is Menzies, for example. Now that's one of the buildings, rooms in a building. So they will now start describing that, okay, to your, assuming you are standing in front of the hall now, which is to your right, the way they will describe it, they will describe that, that building. They will say, okay, once you enter, to your left, to your left is the reception. When you move a little bit to your right, there's a way the conversation will go. The description that you are listening to will go. So it's now for you to now be looking. That's I think this question usually comes with labeling. When you are labeling a particular diagram, or you are labeling a particular map or graph, there's map question, graph question, and all those kind of things. So you are paying attention. The reader or the person that is taking you through all those services, or how you approach those services, or how you get through different facilities, will be reading them, will be telling you. Then you now, with what he or she is saying, you will be identifying where each building is, and you'll be labeling it. I hope you understand. For this kind of question, there will also be options beneath the diagram, where you can always put, because you have to put A or B in the bracket, or in the dash, where it says put your answer. I hope I'm able to communicate clearly with you. So also, we have another type of question is conversation. All right, like we have in section 1, but this particular one is a little bit more between 2 people. Maybe they are discussing this kind of situation is not in a social context. Now it's in an academic context. I hope you understand. Maybe it's between two students discussing a particular project. You understand what I mean? So, for example, between a student and a tutor, or among students about an academic project. So when you are approached, or when you start hearing this kind of conversations, you should not feel surprised that, oh, I thought it's just one person that will be speaking. This is like a discussion between two people, or two, or even might be more than two. So all you need to do is pay attention and fill in the missing brackets, the missing thing from your question. I hope you are getting my point. Then moving on to another kind of question, this is also a monologue, but in this particular context is not in a social context like we have in section 2. All right, this is like in an academic context where a lecturer will be addressing a particular topic. All right, a lecturer will be giving lecture on a particular topic. So these are the 4 sections that you need to be aware of. Section 1 is so simple. In everyday conversation, you can hear them clearly. You will put in your answer once you are focused. Don't be distracted, because any distraction, you will not know where to start. You will not know where the audio, the point they are in the question. So that's not the time to now start thinking about what am I going to eat when I get home? What am I, all those kind of those thoughts comes. But this is the time to be focused. Don't let your attention be diverted. Even when a pin falls, do not even bother. Just focus your attention, because once you take your attention off that audio you are listening to now start looking for how to locate where the audio is to answer your questions will be very difficult. You will just get discouraged, and you would lose points. All right, so question 1 is so simple. Question 2 a little bit hard. Question 3 and 4 are the most serious ones. That's where you will know if you will get 7, 8 or 9. If you are not able to answer them very well, you will not achieve band 7, 8 or 9. These are the where the main work is. They are academic. They are the first and second one is social, context. But section 3 and 4 are academic context, serious talk, where they discuss serious things. They use grammars, that maybe sometimes it's not even in the question. I'll be coming with different questions that we'll be doing together. Please ensure that you don't miss out. That's why I said you should turn on your post notifications, which is the bell icon, and also subscribe so you'll be notified. I have done it and it worked for me. I'm not just coming out because I feel let me just make something and let people watch. No, this is what worked for me. Okay, so moving on. So these are the 3 different types of questions that we have. We have different types of questions. All right, so let's just go through them. Here this is where we are, just in case. So like I said, we have number 1, multiple choice. Choose the correct answer from a list of options. So you have different choice. From what you are listening to, you've heard the audio. Okay, so it's now for you to now choose from that option A, B and C. Is always 3 options that they will give you. You now choose from what you have listened to, which one is the correct thing, and fill in the brackets. I hope that's understood. All right, For example, it says here that what type of okay, don't let us, this is based on the previous question. So multiple choice question, that's there. You choose a correct answer from the list. You have short answer questions, all right, where you provide brief answer to a question. Short answer questions, all right. You find it. Please always read the instructions. Read the instructions before you start. It's very important, so you don't go and do what you are not supposed to do. All right. Okay, so moving on, not to waste time, we also have this is where we are. We also have form, note, table, flowchart completion. I told you about that one, where you have a picture, that you have to listen and then make sure that you input the correct description. So you have to fill in missing information in a form, a note, table, or flowchart based on the recording you are listening to. So you have to complete the table. That's why I said, please, no distraction. Stay focused. It's just for 30 minutes and you are done. All right. So then we have sentence completion. That one is very, 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 very difficult, especially in part section 3 and 4 that I told you is the academic context. They will give you to complete sentences in that section from what you are listening to. So if you miss any word, it might just be one word they ask you to put there. It might be 2 words. It might be 3 words. That's why I say, please read the instruction very well. So follow. Once you read, they will give you time to read the question. So when you hear the speaker mentioning a word that is before the bracket, you know that, okay, yes, the next word that is coming is my answer. That's why your attention should be undivided. All right. So once you start listening, you will know when a particular word is mentioned that should fill in the bracket. So you know when the sentence, there will be a sentence that will be constructed in your question. So when the speaker starts saying something on that sentence, then yes, this is the stage, this is the part where I get this answer to this question. You listen attentively. Don't worry, I will be bringing questions to you that we'll be doing together. I will be listening and attempting questions together on this channel. All right. So moving on, we have matching questions. Here now we have matching questions where there will be you have to listen. Okay, let me try and remember how that matching question was in my own test. Yes, now there's a description about a particular location. There's a location, but in that location there are different areas where some things are located, or some buildings or some facilities are located in that same location. So you now have to be matching. They will give you a list of those words that will be called out. So now for you to be matching, okay, I heard when, for example, now maybe they are describing a particular location where we have a school, a museum, a playground, a library, and all. So when you start listening, and when they record, then the person speaking, describe, maybe to your right we have the library. You know that, yes, that's where library will be. There's a way the recording will go that you will know. You have to just to match items from the list. They would have given you that list with the correct statement, or the different categories or buildings like I just mentioned for you. It's just for you to go and match it. Now, this kind of matching, you only put in A, B, C. You don't write the whole, for example, playground or library. The instruction will be there. That's why I'm stressing it, for you to read the instruction before you start. All right. So we also have map, plan, diagram, labeling. That one, you label parts of a map or diagram based on the audio. They will be reading it and be describing, and be giving you like when you want to use a map to locate a place, all those kind of, it will be saying it and you will now be locating, based on what you have been listening to. And then classification, you have to classify information into categories. They will give you the list of those categories. It's now for you to classify them. All right, so that's how it is. Those are the types of questions we have, and you already know about the 4 sections we have. I already told you section 1 and 2 are so simple. They are in a social context. Then question 3 and 4 are academic, more serious one, where you score more marks. That's where they will distinguish you from those that are scoring band 5 and band 4. You have to score, if you want to score 7, 8 or 9, these 2 sections, which is section 3 and 4, should be attempted very well. All right, so let's look at the score, how they score this your exam, your listening exam. So you scored there 40 points because you have 40 questions. So each question carries 1 mark. So if you score 1, you have 1 point. All right, so score corresponds to a band score from band 1. If you only score 1 out of 40, you failed. It's 0. You fail. Non-user, they will say you don't even understand anything in English. You don't do nothing in English. So if you from band 9 means you are expert user. You are an expert user. You can you can communicate anywhere with anybody that has any accent, and be able to understand and respond appropriately. All right, so for you to prepare, these are the tips. Familiarize yourself with the different accents. That's why I said, please, in my previous video I mentioned it, listen to different recordings. We have different English accents. There's British, there's American, there's Australian. Please listen to them. Go on YouTube, turn on your TV. BBC News is there. We have different accents, English accents. Please listen to varieties of them. Then practice, guys. Practice listening skills. We have the right materials online. Please make sure that you use the right one, especially from IELTS official sites. Please don't go and rely on all these sites that are not authentic, because if you end up cramming and attempting questions that are so simple that you think, oh yes, now I'm prepared, and you did not attempt the real one on the IELTS official site, is going to affect you when you get into the exam hall. I've been trying to get authorization from IELTS to use their materials on my channel. Once I get that, trust me, on a daily basis I will come here and be sharing, we'll be solving together different questions in reading, in speaking, in writing and all. Alright, so don't miss out on all of those things. Once that authorization comes in, I will ensure to start as soon as possible. Alright, so improve your listening skill. Improve your listening skills. Improve it. Learn to listen. Engage with English audio materials. We have news, I've told you that. Then follow instructions carefully. Pay attention. Each section have their own different instructions. Read them carefully and understand what you are asked to do. Because if you go and do what you are not supposed to do, there will be no pardon. They will just score you 0. Then note taking. Please practice taking notes while you are listening to avoid misspelling key information. What I did when I did mine was, once I hear the correct answer, from what I'm listening, I just quickly type in something. I make sure I type in something. Because I don't want to miss out. I quickly type in something, move to the next one, type in. Then after that, there will be time for you to review your answers. That's when I will now go back I will look at my spelling. Okay, is this spelling okay? Is this spelling right? Is it correct? Is this grammar correct? Then that's where I check. Because if you pause on the way because you forgot, sometimes you even forget a particular word, simple words like there, THERE, it might just go off your head and you start thinking what. But once just putting something there to remind you that you want to put there. So when you now come back and you'll be calm that time that yes, the audio has finished playing and I've inputted all my answers, you can now go back and now start reviewing and say, okay, this spelling is this spelling is this, because that time you're under tension. Spellings might disappear from your head but put in something so you can be able to go back and check the spelling and input the right thing. So take notes. That's me taking notes. I don't write them in paper because I did computer based. I did the note taking in the box that is provided, and then I go back to check my answers. All right, so time management is very important. You only have 30 minutes. So at least in 20 minutes finish listening to the question and quickly start checking for errors that you might have mistakenly, or in the process whereby you are typing, you mistakenly press particular letters that is not supposed to be there. All right, so common mistake to round up, common mistake to avoid: mishearing details. Pay attention to specific details, all right, such as numbers in this listening test, especially for part 1 and 2, and also part 3 and 4. To all of it, pay attention to numbers, dates, names. Part 1 especially, they will mention names, they will mention dates, they might even mention currency and the amount. Pay attention, don't be distracted. Then ignoring context. Make sure to understand the context of the conversation or monologue. Understand the context of it. So sometimes you can even guess the answer before the recording gets to that point, once you understand the context. Okay, please do not overlooking instructions. I told you it's a mistake that you should avoid. Don't overlook instructions. They are very important to all sections. Then not reviewing your answers is very wrong because you can have spelling mistakes. So these are the common mistakes to avoid. Ignoring context, not mishearing details, overlooking instructions, not reviewing your answers. It will not help. You should avoid that. You should avoid it. All right, so just before we go, I know we are running out of time, but this is really necessary. All right, so use practice materials that are that are authentic. Go on IELTS site. Once you can book your test even 2 months prior to the date, so you can have access to those materials for months, for weeks. Practice with them back to back. All right, like I said, finally, on your test day, arrive early. Don't be late, because if you arrive late, that tension will be there already. Now going in when you're already breathing, and you will be confused and everything will just end up with a 0. Please arrive early. Bring necessary identification. Ensure your ID that you used to register when you are registering for the test, for the exam online. That's what you need to bring. Bring that ID, even if it's your passport or your national ID card. Bring it. Then listen carefully during the listening section. Focus throughout the test. Don't be distracted. It's just for 30 minutes for the listening. Then follow test instructions. Like I said, follow, and I assure you will get a great score. I got the great score. Okay, I did, and I know you can do it too. This helped me, and I know if you imbibe all of this, if you work with all these points I've given you, it will also help you. So coming in the coming days, I'll be coming out to share different questions that we'll be doing together. Like I said, please don't miss out on this. Subscribe now to my channel, turn on your post notifications, and then please leave a comment below if you think this video is useful for you. Let me know if you'll be sharing with your family and friends as well. And that will be all from me today. Thank you so much for staying up till now, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, have a lovely day and bye.